There's a lot of misconceptions about how you can land brand deals, even as a small creator, and not just on YouTube, but on any platform that you create on. And believe me, when I tell you, I've made every mistake in the book possible. So I want to help you avoid those mistakes, overcome those hurdles, so that way you can maximize your potential with brands, but also make the most amount of money possible with your audience. This is by no means a masterclass on how to get brand deals or sponsorships, but more so a guide to help you further dig into what you need to do to land brand deals, get better sponsorships, and create a lifetime partnership, not just a one and done deal, because churning out brand deals and sponsorships every single video will become tedious, and it's better just to have a quality brand that you can work with again and again and know that you have a consistent form of income coming in besides ad revenue and any digital products that you sell. When you're just getting started, it can be really hard to determine what you're worth or what your content is worth really to other brands, because a lot of creators will tell you just focus on what your current CPM is and double that. So if you are $30 on CPM, you should be charging double that based off the average number of views you get. And while it is true that a lot of brands and sponsors will look at your average views, your engagement rates, and they're going to look at these metrics and want to know what they are, that is not how you should determine how much you should charge for a brand deal or sponsorship. A lot of times it's recommended that you create a media kit, basically a 1-page or 2-page document that explains your audience demographic, your average views per month, the average views for video, where they're located, age, sex, all that fun stuff to kind of give them a demographic of what your audience looks like. And while that is helpful, having that guide on how much you charge for a full-length video, an integration, a short, a combination of them, it really limits your ability to work with brands in the long run, because it kind of forces you into the mindset of this is for a one-time deal instead of how you can work with the brand in the long run. So that is why you should get rid of that media kit. Sure, it could be a great reference point so you understand how much you should be charging minimum, but whatever you do, do not send that out to brands or sponsors when they say how much for a collaboration or we'd like to work with you. This is where you should start negotiating what they're looking for and how you can best serve them. Remember, this is a collaboration, not something that you're working for them or they're working for you. They are getting in front of your audience that you are working hard to create content and grow your audience. So this needs to be a collaboration where it benefits both parties mutually. So finding out real information, real details on what they're looking for and what you're trying to achieve, they need to align. Otherwise, the deal is going to be sour from the get-go. Don't make this all about money. Make this about a long-term deal. Now, if you're a smaller creator, you are likely not going to get hardly any inbound sponsorship requests until you get to 10,000 or more subscribers or followers or whatever the platform you're on. However, it does not mean that you can't start doing outbound and looking for sponsors on your own, because they are always looking for more creators, especially micro creators, because you have some of the most impactful influence in the marketplace, even if you don't realize it yet. It's very, very important, though, that you reach out the correct way. The best way is going to be through email, and try to do a little bit of digging so you email the correct party at a company or brand, so that way you're not jumping through a bunch of hoops just to get to the right person. Try to do a little bit of research so you're getting to the right person in the first place. Second, your email should not be a cookie cutter copy and paste that you send to all brands and sponsors and anybody that you want to work with. Each one should be unique and why you think you would be a good fit for their company and why their brand would be great for you, why you would make a good collaboration partner. Once you've established communication with the right party, this is where you start to negotiate. First, ask the right questions. What are they trying to do? Is this a brand deal where they want a YouTube video or a TikTok video? Is this content that they want to use for advertisements on their social medias or for broadcasting? Try to find out what their end goal is, what they actually want from you. That way you can work a deal out, because a lot of times you don't even have to post this content on your own social medias. They just want your face, your branding on an advertisement or a video that they can post on their own socials. And believe it or not, a lot of brands haven't worked with a lot of content creators, so don't be surprised when they shoot you a lowball offer from the get-go. And here's how you handle a lowball offer. First of all, understand that your brand, your style, the way you create content in its own is unique and valuable. If they wanted to get a cheap video, they could just go to Fiverr or Freelance or whoever and have them make a video for them on their product. That's why you reaching out or them reaching out to you is a unique perspective. You might not even have to be on camera for this collaboration. You could do a voiceover with B-roll playing of the product, and sometimes they just want to work with you. They are a fan of you. Even if they're going to lose money on this, them working with you as a creator, they could be a fan, and that's exciting to them that they got to work with this partner and something they can leverage down the road, especially if they know your potential and say, hey, we worked with this creator before they blew up, and we were one of their first sponsors, and we are proud to announce that and share that with the world because we supported them when nobody else would. Once you and the brand get on the same page and have some clarity about what you want to do and how you want to work together, then comes the scary part for most people, which is the contract. Some brands will send you a contract themselves, others will ask you to send them a contract. Make sure if you are not comfortable reading contracts that you hire a lawyer. Now, I get it. It is going to cost you money to have somebody officially look over your contracts to make sure you're not getting screwed over. But remember, this is a business. It will come with expenses, and at least having it done for the first one, even if it's going to eat the whole cost of the sponsorship, you will have a template and something you can use and understand moving forward. That is the key point of a contract. And I highly recommend if you do hire a lawyer, you create your own contract. That way you don't have to keep having inbound contracts from other companies. You will have your own and you can tweak it based off of their needs. That way both parties are comfortable and you know you're not signing a deal that's going to screw you over in the long run. And trust me, you do not want to get locked in a perpetual deal that's going to screw you over. If you get a deal for $50, $100 or maybe some free clothes, $1,000 free clothes credit, and then you find out your face is being utilized on broadcast TV, millions of views for years to come, and all you got was $1,000, terrible deal. Don't take it. Read your contracts or hire somebody to do that for you. While you're working on the contract, I would definitely discuss with them and keep open communications on the concept or idea that you have for the sponsorship or branding, because you don't want to seem super salesy to your audience because nobody will buy. But at the same time, if all they're looking for is an advertisement that you're not going to post on your channel, make sure that's clear so you know the style that they want versus what would be best suited for your audience. This is all going to come down to how you frame the advertisement or the sponsorship post, because oftentimes the brand does not understand your audience as well as you do. You know your audience better than they will ever know, and you could come up with ideas or better concepts that they might not know about. That way you can push your concepts, your ideas, and get them a better ROI, or at least help them achieve the long-term goals of this collaboration. Just make sure that you get crystal clear with what you're creating and what they're asking for. That way they know the deadline, they know the concept, they know everything. That way there's no micro changes and there's no deal changes once you've already started creating their sponsorship post. Once you made that video or integration, I would immediately send it over to them to ask for feedback. Now, sometimes they're going to ask for some changes. It all depends on how clear you guys were in the previous step, but make sure, again, if you weren't crystal clear in the first part, this is where you're going to have some bottlenecks. Oftentimes, if they do want changes, it's a micro change that you could quickly change in a voiceover. That's not a huge deal. Don't freak out if they ask for specific changes. However, if they do want a complete revision or a revamp of the whole project, that's when you can start to bring in some changes on the deal, because obviously it took you a lot of time to create this in the first place. And if they're wanting redones and redos and reshoots that take a lot of time, that's where you should be asking for compensation. Not a full compensation, but negotiate. Definitely make sure that they understand that this is not something that's just made out of thin air. It takes time and money from both parties here. Keep in mind, asking for feedback is not something that should scare you away. If anything, this is brownie points, because it shows them, A, you're crystal clear, you're willing to make changes, and you have strong communication. Even if this brand deal is a flop, it shows them that you're willing to try other things in the future and you communicate very effectively. That way it's something that they can work with, because a lot of creators, believe it or not, will shut down after one feedback or after one bad brand deal and they give up, when this is something that is just a hiccup they could easily overcome, and they're willing to go through that hiccup with you. Think of it this way. Your goal should not be to land the brand deal. Your goal should be to get renewals for this specific brand. Upsell your relationship, not the deal. Otherwise, all you're going to do is turn and burn sponsors like crazy. Eventually, you're going to run out, and then you're going to get blacklisted from certain companies because they're going to talk to each other and say, yeah, this person was a horrible person to work with, terrible experience, no feedback, no reviews. They cut us off. They didn't post at the right deadline. Be very open, communicative, and be very clear. Your goal here, again, LTV, lifetime value customer. Try to get a renewal on any brand deal or contract that you come across. Now, in some cases, they're going to have you create multiple variations, whether one be for a podcast, one is for a video ad, some is just for a quick snippet. Make sure that you're publishing not only on time, but the correct version. You want to make sure that you're doing that, because I can't tell you how many times people post the wrong version, or they don't check to see if the link is in the description, see if the link even works, see if the promo code or the coupon works. That is your job as the creator to make sure that the link, the promo code, everything is working properly before it goes live. Once you've done all of that, your content, your video, your published piece is now live and out there in the world. Give it a couple days and then immediately follow up with that brand. Get some feedback. Ask them, how is the collaboration performing? Even if your video was not as great as you was hoping, the view count is lower than normal, it might be a win for them, but you won't know until you reach out to them. There's been plenty of cases where a video flops, it gets half the views as normal, and it's kind of scary to reach out to the sponsor, but when you did, you found out that, hey, they got a 300% ROI from what they originally asked for, and they are ecstatic. It's a win, and they're popping champagne, and you're over here freaking out thinking that you screwed up royally. On the flip side, if the sponsorship did not go as well as they had hoped, find out why. Go deep dive your video or your content piece. Look in the comments. Look at how the video was integrated in or how you approach the subject. A lot of people might post that I've tried this product, I didn't like it, it didn't work. Some people in the comments might say exactly why they didn't find that product interesting or why it didn't work for them. That is feedback that you can take moving forward with the brand and say, hey, this is why it didn't work, but I have some ideas on how we can make it work in the next video. Here's my proposal, and get a better conversion, better ROI, or whatever, again, whatever their goal is as the brand and sponsorship collaboration. Not all feedback is criticism. Sometimes it's just information that you need to know. Take that data and offer how you can improve the next video, the next collaboration, and get a better mark on what the goal is for this promotion. How you approach feedback, especially negative feedback, can salvage a situation and completely win them over for the next collaboration, even if it was poor. Remember, how you approach a situation is very important, whether that's good news or bad news. Always try to offer clarity, sympathy, and how you can improve in the next iteration. Look, I get it. Working with brands can be scary. It can be exciting. There's a lot of emotions that come through when working with another brand or sponsor. But if it's not something you're ready to do right now, check out this video right here where I show you how I made over $300,000 my first year as a small creator. No sponsorships, no brand deals, no advertisements. This was all through organic traffic.